This beat is self-made.
Trapping in some 23, 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 Michael Jordan, trapping in some 23, 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 Michael Jordan, trapping in some 23, Coco come from Coca Lee. I'm no whack, but I get cheap. Fresh as hell in 23, blowing on the Cali tree. Mr. Tree with the lean, I hear trapping with the clean. My neck look like Mr. T. Keep that Coco like icy. Yellow diamond like a bee. Keep some trees.
Tragedy is the best teacher of black magic. Some people pick up books and they think that the answers are in books. What someone wrote probably yesterday or maybe even 3,000 years ago. Well, that was from that person's personal experience. What's relevant is what you experience. Because whomever lived 2,000 or 3,000 years ago and wrote their manual or they wrote statements, that was from their experience. And what they had at that time, you may not have in your time. A lot of scriptural texts or, book of mages that you read today, especially, I believe, the Greater Keys of Solomon, Lesser Keys of Solomon, you look in these books, you see rituals, they say you need to write XYZ on lamb skin and such, this creature's blood, so and so. This is what they had access to. It's like voodoo. You have a lot of people when they're doing the ceremonies, they use animals, this and that. But now, if you live in America, where are you going to find, like if you're living in America, such as New Jersey or New York, where the hell are you going to find a cow's heart? Where are you going to find, a cow's testicles or whatever? So it's not practical for someone living in such region. So this is why I say the best teacher of black magic is tragedy. Why do I say tragedy? Because you learn from your mistakes. A person who makes the same mistake over and over and over has to be retarded. If you put your hands on a stove as a child and your hands gets burned, you're not going to put your hands on the stove afterwards because you know it's hot and it hurts. So same thing with occult wisdom. Well, black magic knowledge. If you do something and it backfires on you, it's either two things. You know not to do it again and you leave the shit alone. Or you try it again, but in a different way. See, you may have one ingredient, you put in something, okay, this doesn't work. So now you write that out, you cross that out, you put another ingredient in, okay, this one makes it tick. So now you know, okay, the first way of doing it, all right, that wasn't good. So I change it around and I put something new in it. I substitute the original with something new and wow, it starts to tick. The error that many people make is that when they try something, if it doesn't work, they leave it alone. Well, instead of trying to figure it out, what made it not work, they discard it. What has to happen when you attempt to do something spiritually is that you have to go back to the drawing board, figure out what went wrong. The Wrights brothers, you think when these guys are making aircrafts, whatsoever, trying to fly or so, they gave up? No, they changed things around. They fixed their configuration. So it's the same thing with black magic. But you have to chalk whatever your mistakes are to the game. You have to take it on the chin. If you do a black magic ritual and your children, your wife, your mother, and your brother die, you have to take it on the fucking chin because this is what you signed up for. Tragedy is a teacher, but just like the Haitian teachers, if you were born in Haiti, you know that the Haitian teachers had this thing called a fouet or maxinet, which was like a whip. The fouet was more of like a very thin stick, but it was very flexible, and it would whip you if you did the work wrong. Maxinet was more of like the pigskin, and you had to recite what we call a réciter. Na 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 na. On this me da da da. You had to recite your lessons. You had to memorize your history, and it sound like a song. And if you didn't repeat the words right, they would whip you. The maxinet was a whip, basically a flog made with pigskin. And if you didn't recite well, they would whip you with it. This is how tragedy teaches. You got to learn the hard way. You go to jail, you go to the West Coast, you go to prison, you can't sit X, Y, this place here because it may belong to another race. You just go up in there green and you don't know the protocol. You sit there, somebody comes out of nowhere and pokes you up. You learn through tragedy. Next time, I won't sit there. With that said, I conclude this video. Let tragedy be your teacher.
23, Coco come from Coca Lee. I'm no whack, but I get cheap. Fresh as hell in 23, blowing on the Cali tree.